What's going on? Welcome to the Fazbear Friday show, the only show where we finally solve FNAF. I'm here with your special guest, Spring from Spring's FNAF Time.
Hello, FNAFers. I'm laughing.
It's all good. It's all good. What I love about your show on your channel is that you basically are unafraid to tackle the most difficult, unsolved things about security breach. Namely the code on the wall in the sister location room.
Yeah.
You seem unafraid by it's very daunting.
I'm just trying to think of any explanation possible, and the one that makes the most sense in my opinion, I talk about it. But if I have any other ideas, I talk about them too. I feel like I am on an interview.
Sorry. Okay, so the first thing I have is that, before we really get into it, the puppet, we'll be interchangeably calling the puppet Charlie, Marionette, and Puppet, and Charlotte.
Yeah.
If there's any more, Adako would call him the Poopet.
I remember in FNAF World and Easter eggs, something about Puppet.
Yeah, that was so
Puppet
funny.
In space.
Poopet in space, that was it. Good memory.
I actually did not watch Daku back then, and so I had no idea what was that a reference to.
Yeah, I've been watching him for a while, I'd love his funny voice. So, first of all, Charlie was killed by Afton outside of the Take Cake restaurant. Which restaurant is this?
So, I think it's Junior's, cause though some people think that it's some other location, but I think it's Junior's, because
Junior's?
The place is on lockdown, and basically in the only time we saw a lockdown was in FNAF 2, and it will happen because the Spring Bonnie suit was used.
Yes.
So perhaps for murder. So perhaps Junior's is close for the murder of Charlie, and William is returning to the place of murder like killers usually do. And also the green guy, I don't know how to call him.
Oh, green
is
guy,
not
yeah.
letting William inside. Perhaps because he's a suspect.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yes.
But the lockdown could have been caused by something else. Perhaps the bite of 83. Because we theorize that the bottom house near Junior's is the after house.
Yes.
And Junior's is the Fazbear's. And so it could be possible that it's on lockdown for the bite of 83. And he is not allowed there for some reason, because it's a lockdown. And people theorize that Junior's is not the place where Charlie got killed, because he is returning from somewhere.
Yes.
And people theorize that he went somewhere else to murder and is now returning home.
Yes.
So, and it could show that he just killed Charlie because a few moments ago his son got bitten and perhaps died. And also,
yes.
if that is the case, then perhaps the child running away from the house is Mike, and Mike is afraid that William will punish him for killing his brother. So I think it's one of the, those are two possible theories, I think.
What I have here is that, my guess was that it was the first restaurant, the one that the Wizards are from.
That's possible. We see Puppet in the same location as the Wizards in FNAF 2, so who knows?
Yep, I didn't really have much to back that up. My next point is that Take Cake ends with the Puppet jump scare, and this is actually the first time we actually could connect that minigame with the victim.
Yeah. Well, actually, also people connected their tears on the soul to Puppet. But
Yes.
after FNAF 3, we found out that all souls have tears. So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that was pretty much the connecting point. And since it wasn't really like that direct, people theorized that maybe it just shows that Puppet gave life to the kid.
Oh.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
That's it. That's an excellent way to look at it, because I love looking back at this old lore that we think is, you know, we have it down, but there's actually another way to look at it now.
To be honest, the old lore is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I want to tell you, like, the role of Puppet in the old lore as I understand it. So, but it kind of connects to FNAF 3, so let's go to FNAF 3.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell it when we go to FNAF 3.
That's good. Yeah, keep it in mind. In FNAF 2, the in-between night cutscenes, we see the puppet in some of them, and he resembles the Phantom Puppet form with that caved-in face. And he seems to be staring at the FNAF 1. Yeah, he seems to be at the FNAF 1 restaurant.
That is interesting too.
Yeah, that's something I've never understood. And you hear all these weird sounds, and when you turn your head, it's the exact it's the Freddy mask, but you don't hear breathing. So it's like
An interesting thing is that if you light up the mask, it will be actually purple.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
like,
really
so
cool.
Are we? So, like, it could be like just a lighting, but why then Chica is not blue or something?
It could be Shadow Freddy just off the top of my head.
Yes. So are we in Shadow Freddy, and how does he connect to the puppet? Like, I was thinking, what if Shadow Freddy is not Agony as we think, but is actually Phone Guy who got stuff at the end of FNAF 1, and now Puppet is making him possessed by Shadow Freddy.
That's really cool.
You mean what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of the theories that I am working on. Like,
that's a great theory.
Yeah, but like, it's interesting how like the puppet is in FNAF 1, but at the same time we don't see him in FNAF 1. So is he just like spiritually there, or is he just hiding in FNAF 1?
Yeah, and well, people people used to think he was in the kitchen, I think, where you can't see in FNAF 1.
If you don't know where is the animatronic, but you think it is in FNAF 1, just put it in the kitchen. Where's Golden Freddy? In the kitchen.
Yeah.
Where's Shadow Freddy? In the kitchen. Where's Puppet? In the kitchen.
I love your view on that. That's really smart. Everyone used to say it was all in the kitchen.
Actually, I like to imagine that Shadow Freddy is in FNAF 1, but is hiding behind the camera of the parts and service room.
You know,
I decided to not pick the kitchen.
I like that. But something I always thought was weird, when I played FNAF 1 for the first time, Freddy, you could almost never see him when he moves on the cameras.
Yeah, he likes, you see only his eyes in the dark.
Yeah, he really, really likes the shadows in that game.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Next point. Let's see.
Wait, shadows. Shadow Freddy.
That's what I was thinking, was like, he seems a lot more like Shadow Freddy in FNAF 1. The original Freddy. I don't know, he just hides in the shadows is all.
Yeah.
In Give Gift
Maybe
His
that
Life,
was in this inspiration for Scott for Shadow Freddy.
I like that. I just love that.
Actually, Shadow Bonnie. I actually think more of Shadow Bonnie, cause like Shadow Bonnie is literally just black and like white eyes. And white teeth.
You know what I don't get about Shadow Bonnie?
What?
Why is he modeled after Toy Bonnie when Shadow Freddy is modeled after, I think, Withered Golden?
I think Shadow Bonnie is not like a... I think Shadow Bonnie is like an actual mascot of the pizzeria. Because in the books, the hide and seek story, we find out that there is this mini game with Shadow Bonnie where you need to find him. So the people know about Shadow Bonnie, so he's like an actual mascot, at least in the books. And in FNAF VR, we actually see Shadow Bonnie cutouts of the in the Halloween edition, and also in the security breach. And what is interesting that there is a theory that the Halloween theme was an actual Halloween attraction that the company made back in 1980s, and it actually proved by the actual cutouts in the security breach. So like the actual cutouts in the museum. So the cutouts of Shadow Bonnie actually exist in the FNAF universe. So Shadow Bonnie is an actual character, an actual mascot. Maybe a cutout, and like the spirit or agony possess the cutout, and that's why he seems so flat in FNAF 2, because he's not an actual spirit, well, not actual matter thing, it's just like a cutout.
Yeah.
Like the puppet who moves by the strings, like that possesses the strings that move the puppet.
Yeah.
But the same with the Shadow Bonnie. Why is it more about shadow animatronics than a puppet, I'm asking?
Yeah, that's actually for another topic, really.
Yeah.
In Give Life, the puppet is seen giving life to the 4 dead kids, all in a back room. One of them appears after in the middle. Is this the... Where is this, do you think?
Well, I think this is the animatronics from FNAF 1. Like, I like to believe that.
Yes.
And the thing is that Puppet never touches the 5th kid. Like, the 5th kid doesn't get a present.
Yeah, you're right.
But gets a suit, but Puppet doesn't give him the suit. He gets it himself.
Yeah.
So perhaps it means that the soul got its suit by itself. So perhaps, perhaps it's the bite victim.
Yep, I was gonna say the bite victim.
Who possessed the Golden Freddy by himself, because he got killed in it. Like for example, Charlie. Like nobody gave her a gift. She just possessed the puppet because she was near.
Yeah, you're right.
So perhaps it means something like that.
Yes. There's another minigame that has the puppet in FNAF 2. It's actually Save Them.
Oh yeah. She acts like Shadow Freddy.
Yeah, you're great memory, Spring, because the puppet leads us around.
It's interesting that she leads us to our death, basically, like to the death of Withered Freddy.
Yeah,
like,
maybe she's.
I think we should ask, when does this minigame take place?
That's
like,
a great
after
question.
FNAF 2 or before? I think it takes place like after like the murders that the phone guy talks about at the end of the last night of FNAF 2. Like he sounds really worried and says like, someone used the suit in the back, you know.
I love
so,
that.
like,
I love that in the night before. So, he's like it's okay, things will be fine, you know.
And we see blood stains in the building in the minigame, and either bodies or souls.
Yeah, I was gonna make sure
it takes like at the same time as FNAF 2 last phone call. I don't know if the phone calls are pre-recorded or actual phone calls, because it's kind of confusing, because phone guy says, "Welcome to your new summer job."
Yeah.
But at the same time, the check says that it's in
November.
the winter.
Yeah, it says November, which is just confusing.
So yeah, we don't know if the minigames takes place for sure after FNAF 2, but it definitely takes place after the FNAF 2 last phone call.
Yeah, the Save Them minigame has always been kind of a hard thing.
So perhaps I don't know. Like the only characters that seem alive in the minigame are the Wither Freddy
Yep.
and Golden Freddy who disappears, and Puppet, of course.
Yeah, and Mangle has some animation.
Oh, and Mangle, yeah. It's theorized that Mangle is possessed by a dog.
Oh, I used to love that theory. That's actually a,
Yeah.
I'm kind of biased because I'm a cat, but
I'm a cat person too, even though I'm a bunny.
good to hear. Good to hear.
So,
I don't mean to distract you, but I don't know if you can get an image.
okay, yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
So
I'll put it up. I'll edit it into this video, and you see there's actually a blood spot underneath the puppet's box.
Yeah.
I always found that
see that.
really interesting. Is that implying someone else was killed and put into a different puppet or the same puppet?
I don't know. I think he just used to like hide the I think William maybe hided bodies there.
Yes,
like, maybe
in the box.
Maybe maybe he killed all of those children, and those are souls on the map.
Yes.
And
yes.
and the bodies are actually in the box.
I think that's better than anything I could come up with.
Well, I think the Wither Freddy is the only animatronic from Withers and Toys that is possessed because Puppet gave it life, just gave it life, and it's now going to the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps she gave life for revenge, because William is in the building, and if the Freddy comes alive, he can try to take revenge. Though it wasn't successful, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, because we still don't know anything about why this minigame, what does it show basically.
Yeah.
It's really confusing.
Yeah, sorry to basically quote Blackfoot Ferret, but it seems totally different from the setting of Give Gifts, where that seems to be in the back room. This Save Them takes place across the whole restaurant, and there's no subtlety at all. There's blood all over the floor.
I think maybe those are two different MCIs. So in the Give Life minigame, I think those are the FNAF 1 animatronics, and here they are Withers animatronics. I believe they are different animatronics.
Yes, yeah. That could be its own topic, is finding the origins of the FNAF 1 animatronics. I found that to be kind of a hard subject. I think we should just talk about
these missing children accidents in general, because I believe there are 3.
Yeah. What happens to the Withereds after FNAF 2, and more importantly, the puppet?
Well, that is a really interesting question, because we don't really see them after FNAF 2.
Yeah.
As well as the toys. Well, actual toys, we do actually kind of see them. We see them in FNAF 3 as parts.
Yep.
Though they could be just decoration, the same, we can see Puppet, but at the same time we can see Puppet's mask on the wall.
Yeah.
So it means that it's a fake mask.
Yep, or Phone Dude,
So,
Phone Dude says, we found another Foxy head. It could just be a puppet.
Yeah. It's really interesting, because we don't see toys much. Toys, we could somehow explain what happens to them, but with Withers, the only explanation that someone made up is that Withers got reformed into FNAF 1 animatronics, redesigned,
yeah.
just use get out some FNAF VR, they got out the main electronics and
yeah.
put it into new handles and new customs, so they did not have to reprogram anything.
Yes.
There's that theory. I just don't like that theory, because I like to think that those are two different animatronics, FNAF 1 and Withers, because they just look different, and it just, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Honestly, to be frank, they really have to be separate animatronics. Honestly,
Yeah.
Because the phone guy straight up says that they've been singing for 20 years. And that's probably an exaggeration, but that game takes place about 10 years after FNAF 4. So these could be some really old decommissioned ones that they brought out. Also, the only thing that makes me think that they could be the FNAF, the withered animatronics could be made into the FNAF 1 crew, is the end of FNAF 2 is a newspaper that says that the toys are being scrapped for possible malfunction, but the original crew are being kept in hopes of a reopening. So that I think that's why people think that the FNAF 1 crew are the Wizards.
Yeah, it's just kind of confusing because we don't get a strong answer on neither of them.
Yeah, that's a bummer too. But just look at like Foxy. Withered Foxy is completely different looking than.
Yeah, he has he has only 3 toes and. Like he has 3 toes and FNAF 1 Foxy has 2. Same with the Chica.
Yeah, so maybe the puppet.
Like their general shape is really different from FNAF 1. No, but it's similar to the Nightmare animatronics actually.
Yep. Actually, yeah, I've been talking with my brother about that. He thinks I'm kind of crazy because I think the nightmares are real and they're because they look strikingly like the withered animatronics.
Yeah.
Like I had this picture of the FNAF 2 and FNAF 4 on my Switch's home screen, and the withered Freddy and Nightmare Freddy right next to each other in the same pose was enough to like get me starting to write a theory.
I just noticed something. Look on the image that you sent to me.
Yeah.
Why is Toy Bonnie purple?
Yeah. Oh, he is purple.
Yeah, that's like there is so much inconsistencies with Bonnies. Like FNAF 1 Bonnie is purple. FNAF 2 Bonnie is blue, just like the Nightmare Bonnie.
Yeah, he's like sky
and
blue.
Toy Bonnie is blue. And in FNAF World, FNAF 1 Bonnie turns, guess what? Blue.
Yeah.
And in FNAF VR, so like he is representing purple in most of the times in the mini games. But in like actual games, he turns blue from purple for some reason. Like,
yeah.
It's just confusing.
Yeah,
like,
and then this
there's
one,
some reality warping.
Yeah, that's probably the retcon that Scott made.
Yeah, like it's just really confusing. Like he changes colors all the time.
He does, doesn't he? That's really weird.
Even in FNAF 3 minigame, Bonnie is blue.
Yeah, he is.
Purple.
He's like Toy Bonnie blue.
Yeah. And because of that, people thought like, what if FNAF 1 animatronics were redesigned and it's just.
Oh really?
What if this is not FNAF 1 location, but just a location that looks like FNAF 1? Like it's just really
Yeah.
It just. That's all that I can say.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's come back to the puppet.
Sorry.
We keep getting off the track.
It's okay. That's what happens with basically discussing FNAF.
Yeah.
I was ready to move on to FNAF 3.
What?
I was ready to go on to FNAF 3.
Yeah, let's go to the FNAF 3. That was pretty much all. Well, actually, I just want to say, people thought that, like, because of the in FNAF 2, people thought that animatronics were actually not trying to kill us, because, like, they for example, Puppet, like she is jumping at us like she's hugging, and like
I actually really like that theory.
There was a theory that Puppet is the child of the night guard, and she is jumping to hug him.
Wow, I remember theories like that. I think Blackfoot Ferret had a point that like convinced me. It was that in FNAF 2, all of the animatronics make smiling faces at you. and basically have joyous body language.
And also, there is a theory that when they scream, they say freedom.
Yeah, that always, it sounded like something to me. I could never really make out what it was, but it sounded like a word.
Yeah, though it's not a word, cause I think the jump scare is made out of just random clips from a site that gives you like examples of voices and things.
Oh,
So
that's
probably
okay.
it's just one of those things where you see a face in a cloud.
Yep. Yeah.
Now let's move on to FNAF 3.
We're actually running over time, I think.
I mean, you can split this video into two.
Yeah, sounds good.
Or yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this very first episode of the Fazbear Friday show. And make sure you tune in next week because we're gonna talk about FNAF 3. You're not gonna wanna miss it. See you there. Now it's a Fazbear Friday. It's like you always used to say. Fox go and now you're here to stay. Go soul searching all day.